domestic violence advocates for building safe people and safe places. Terrisa Murray is the founder of SAFEHEART, an organisation that places value and dignity on women and children. She is also the co-founder with her husband for Make Bullying History and the winner of Western Sydney's Community Awards. Please welcome to the stage Terrisa Murray.
Hi everybody, thank you Sai for inviting me to speak here today. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has shared today, any victims that have shared their story today. I know the pain and the vulnerability that you put yourself in to share your story, and I just want to say that you're strong and you're brave and you are heroes, and by sharing your story and doing so, you are changing the world. Don't view this room as just a number of people in a small room. This is effective. We are talking to people, we are sharing our stories. We are taking what is in our hands and changing the hearts of people, and that's how we can make a difference on this planet. And I'm really, really excited to be here today and to be a part of everything that is happening in this room and the energy. The reason why I know the vulnerability to share your story is because I grew up in a home of domestic violence. I grew up in a home with severe sexual abuse, violence. My mum was bashed on a daily basis. I'd been raped and sexually abused by 4 men in my family. My first memories from minimal age of 2 is being sexually abused. They are my first memories. And my father abused me till I left home to get married at 19. My mum was daily beaten, abused, neglected. We had many days where we would go hungry. And although I feel vulnerable sharing my story, I know that I have to do it because there's so many people still today, and I feel and I carry that burden, that there are people still today that experience these things, and I know how it feels. I know the scent of domestic violence. I know the feel of a home when you know something's brewing. I know what it's like to come home from school and stand at the door for 5 minutes before you go in just to hear what's going on in there first. Who's home? I know what it's like to see my sisters abused. My brother died at a very young age because of abuse and being neglected. I know the feeling of it. I know what it's like to live a life and know where every emergency door is, to watch my back at every turn, because that's how I grew up. I lived in a home that sometimes I would be so scared. I learned you find the car that is just parked in the driveway, because if you sleep under that car, it's going to be warm. And you just think like that and you learn like that. But it got to a stage where I did get married and I left home. And my mum was home on her own. I'm the youngest of 6, and I carried that burden for my mum. And I always felt like I had to be the protector for my mum. But I got to a stage where I knew I needed to let go and step out and not carry on the generations before me, what they had done. I needed to let go of that. I needed to break that. So my husband and I got married and we left home. And then 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call that my mum had been beaten so badly, and knowing my mum, she was so broken that she ended up taking her own life. And I just think, what if all the people in this room, with all the things that we do now, with all our skills was happening back then? Maybe my mum wouldn't have done that. Maybe she actually would have had someone to go to seek help. Now, I kept all this to myself till I was 32. I never told anyone. I never spoke up about anything that had ever happened to me because I was so ashamed. And I didn't have a voice. I didn't know how to shape the language around everything that had happened to me. But I know that I needed to stand up and speak out. Now, when my mum committed suicide, I was actually pregnant with my first daughter. And so that generational thing started to really play on my mind. I need to draw a line in the sand here, and all the things that have happened to me in the past will never ever be passed down through my family. My children will never see what abuse is like. They will never experience that. And that's when my passion and my heart started, for my own children. And then I stepped out into the community and said, you know what, if I can do that for my children and fight for them and stop that generational behaviour, I'm going to step up and I'm going to speak out for all the women and men in our generation now that is experiencing this. I'm going to step out and make a change and speak out, and we can all do that. All of us here can do that. You might not run an organisation that necessarily specifically focuses on abuse, domestic abuse, DV, etc., etc. but you have a family and you have friends and you have loved ones. You can go back home and love them. Teach your sons how to love and respect women. The best way to teach someone is be an example. Show them how to value. Show them how to love each other, how to love yourself, how to put boundaries in place. This is what our children need. They need to see us living this out. And that's my heart. That's what Safe Heart is all about. The message of hope, the message of value, the message of dignity, and stopping the generational curse that is passed down with domestic violence, because it is taught. People are taught these things. I don't know one person in my family that has not experienced a form of domestic abuse. All of us have experienced it because it was passed down generationally. But we can stop it. I'm telling you now, we can stop it. If you make an effort in your own personal heart and make yourself a safe heart, a safe place, and a safe person, and show others how to do that in your world, we can make a difference. We really, really can make a difference. And I thank you for listening to me today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.